Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Oscar coming to you with a new episode of Let's Play Life is Feudal Your Own. Today I've decided to make something a little different. Since you already have seen the title of this video, it's about planning a city. I'm going to give you a little tour to our two settlements here on the server, to the first one, which we've built when we, well, were all new to the game, and the one we are working on at the moment, which was actually mapped out, planned out, and all that before we actually started working on that. And I'm going to showcase you some minor or bigger mistakes you can possibly make when starting with your first settlement. Just some stuff and stuff you can keep in mind or should keep in mind if you start building your first village, city, whatever. So I'm going to log over to my main character and show you what we have started with first. I'm gonna be back in a moment since the loading time in this game is a bit longer and I don't wanna waste like 5 minutes of YouTube time and bore you to death with the loading screens here. So, and I'm back again on my main character in our first settlement village, however. So I want to give you a short tour to our place here. This place, this thing over here is a training field. I'm not showing you this because you need to know what the training field is right now, but because this is actually the first place, or the place where the first building was built. My plaster shack, I built this over here, just because I thought building it. Let me just put down some of my stuff because I'm kinda weighted down. Can't really move that fast. Check, get better now. I built it over here because I kinda had in mind, okay, I need some clay to build this, and thought it was a good idea to build this right next to a clay deposit. If you remember the other videos where I was at the clay deposit or the other clay deposit, at some point the area here looked like that was some sort of trench going all the way uphill with clay in it. I thought it was a good idea to build the hut next to it because I don't have to run that much. Turned out to be not the best idea ever, since the village expanded and grew, and at some point the clay thingy was in the way and we terraformed over it. And now we are getting kinda short on clay. There's still some left, but not that great. The second and third buildings were plaster shacks as well from two friends that play with me here. Were like here where the warehouse is standing now, and one is still existing all the way back here. So everything in between was like more or less open space. Trees were standing here. There was actually some farmland around, or areas we used that as farmland. Built this monument over here. Just for the guild claim, area claim mechanics. I'm going into this into another video. So we started building starting from these 3 little shacks. and soon we kinda ran out of space, so to say. Started terraforming left, right and center, and ended up with some odd slopes in town where you can accidentally run down but not get up again, which is rather annoying. We had, or still have, a little orchard back here, which is on the one side not that greatly placed. On the other side, in our defense, I gotta say, at the point where we've planted those apple trees, they had another model where we were able to easily run in between them without getting stuck all the time and without having branches in your face, yeah, from all kinds of directions. What the yeah, okay, Whisker the warrior getting caught in the apple yard. Great. Was an epic ending of a knight's career. Let me out, crying out loud. Okay, so another thing we ran into here is a shortage of resources. In the next or the video after that, I will go into getting iron or copper ore. We actually early on found some really high quality stuff on the mountain here, and well, in all our wisdom and yep, we thought I thought it was a good idea. Actually, I didn't think to use this for our first tools, our first metal tools, and then at some point the quality up to 100 iron ore vein was depleted, and now we are more or less in the end game and have to work with iron ore with qualities around 30-ish, 40, up to quality 40, something like that. Then, at some point, we... so what I want to say with the iron ore, if you find really high quality ores right off the bat in the beginning, leave them, maybe mine them out, but don't use them right off the bat, because you will need this later, and to grind up you might as well use some low quality stuff. Another thing we ran into was yeah, space. At some point we tamed our first animals, horses, cows, sheep, pigs, chicken and hares, and we needed room for them. It was rather easy with chicken and hares. They fit in those little coops over here. The story with pigs is a bit more difficult. We needed to build a new building for that and do some more terraforming, which was rather annoying here. Couldn't build them on the level with where most of the buildings in the town are, because one, we had the orchard here, which was set up with rather high quality apple trees, and on the one hand, and on the other hand you see the rocks over here looking out of the soil, out of the ground. They expand to over here somewhere, so I couldn't dig as deep in the area. We actually needed to place the barns. So another not so cool thing. Then we had to build a large stable to breed and store horses, which is actually a large stable. It's going up a little bit to show you it's the thingy in its full beauty. It is really big. And you need a lot of room for that. And again, had to do a lot of terraforming to get this somewhat in line with our village. And the trees you see looking through here is something that happened after they've changed the tree models. So yeah, didn't work out as planned. So yeah. What else do we have here? Some other utility areas, so to say, which are also kinda annoying to reach. That is the area where mainly animal skins are processed and flax fibers are made into textiles and stored over here. But there's an orchard with mulberry trees to get silver cocoons, silkworm cocoons, sorry, to make silk. Over here we've got the little smithy area with kilns to produce charcoal and bloomeries to smelt all kinds of iron ore, all kinds of ores. Well, that's pretty much it. Everything a bit clunked up and sort of, well, dense with some odd slopes in the way. Sorry for that. On the outside of the village we've got some farming areas. The dark fields over here, there isn't anything sown. So, sown out. Well, nothing is growing here at the moment. With our windmill. So this is basically our first village, and yeah, short excursion into its growing history, so to say. Now I'm just jump on my horse and be heading over to our new place, which is a bit further away. I'm not gonna bore you with me riding around half the island and yeah, just ride. Just gonna make a break right here and be back as soon as I'm getting close to our new village. And I'm back, closing in to the area where our new city is going to be, or is being built at this moment. This time I actually made myself a list with all the buildings that we actually need for our city or village. Made a list with them, note behind them how big they are, as in ground area needed. Then took a piece of paper and began to draw or to sketch down the city, how it can fit together, how much room we actually need to build this. With some, like here, some all the squares, so to say, needed for the different devices, buildings, utility buildings, and so on. Then I came up, or figured out how big the city as a square could be, or, well, would be. And so I went out and scouted for a location with a decent enough and big enough area to do the terraforming, to get flat area this size terraformed without getting completely nuts. Started with the terraforming, flattened out the area. So I had gotten an idea where this city wall, so to say, would end. I began to plant out a couple of oak trees to get building blocks in order to avoid stuff like me in the previous video where I was building the plaster shack, was having to cut down, I don't quite remember, like 3 trees or so to get 5 building blocks because they were so low on quality and one tree just yielded like 2 logs. In this town overall I'm going to need something like 500 building blocks to get this done, plus a crap load of building boards and so on. So I had to plant a bunch of oak trees. They are all quality 100 and will yield, I think it was 12 building blocks each. So a bit more convenient. And otherwise I would have had to cut down all of the trees around here in the area and spend ages with running around with like 2 logs and not much else. In this area, or the city this time, there is everything that needs to be close together, close by. Over here there will be some storage, a warehouse, the smithy, a little field to dump low quality ores for grinding purposes or for metal goods that you don't need, high quality kilns to produce charcoal and stuff like glass. And here will be 2 bloomeries to smelt all the ores. Over here next to the smithy area will be the carpenter, which usually produces lots of stuff that the blacksmith needs to craft tools. He makes the wooden parts, handles and so on. Then all of this area is nothing set yet, but will be the place for procuration to process animal hides into leather and flax fibers into cloth. This over here will be a well to get water, and so we don't have to run all the way down to the lake all the time. Here will be another warehouse for all the clothing, leather and whatnot stuff. This will be our large stable for horses and cows. Mainly horses, cows just to breed them. Over here will be a training field to train war horses. This will be the herbalist shop where our alchemist is going to work. Here and here we'll have 2 barns to breed sheeps to get wool cloth. Here will be a small stable just for cows, for dairy cows, to produce milk. Here our kitchen with the most important thing, the brewing tank. We really need beer and wine and meat and stuff like that. Another warehouse to store all the farming, the vegetables and so on we've gotten from farming, next to the kitchen, so our cook doesn't have to run all the way to I don't know where. 2 coops just exclusively for chicken to get eggs and eggs and eggs to cook with. No protein is necessary for every good diet. This one, a big stone house, will be just one big house with, I think it was 10 binding slots, so we don't have to build those ugly cluster or tiny shacks all over the place. Then another important thing about planning a city this time, we are able to easily fortify it with a stone wall all around it. The other place it would have been a nightmare, because you can't build, or you really can't build these walls on slopes. And on the outside, some farmland. If I turn on grass thingy, you see some what the fuck? Oh come server, don't die on me now. Almost done here. God damn it. Yeah, time for a little cut here. Okay, and I'm back. My internet is done messing around with me. So, where was I? Oh yeah, farmland. But here we've got some wheat growing. Just some of that for now, because we need straw to build all the stables. Over here we've got our orchard. This time it's standing a bit on higher ground, so it's way easier to actually access the trees and harvest the apples from them. And they are just planted in basically 2 long rows, or will be at some point. The 2 long rows. Right now it's 1 long and 1 not so long row of trees, because I was short on sprouts to plant them. And now the last part, oh, out of breath again. The further, not so far away distance, god damn it, I need to do more workout with this guy. You see a little area with some trees we will not directly use to build the initial city, but will use to, yeah, for our daily needs, so to say. One thing we've got here are pine trees. They have, from them you get softwood, which is needed mainly for tools and weapons for the wooden parts. And oak, well, its lumber is mainly used for building purposes. It's hardwood. Both of those are the kinds of trees that have the highest yields in their specific area. Pine trees have softwood, the best amount of, or the highest amount, and oak hardwood. So that's pretty much it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed and got some new ideas or infos about this game. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment. If you liked the video, express your likingness for me and this, my content by hitting the like button. If you don't want to miss out on any new coming episodes of my series, or maybe other stuff that I'm going to publish on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and of course, if you want, share the stuff, my videos and so on, wherever you feel see fit. Okay, that's it from me today. Have a nice one. See you next time. Peace out.